Ich weiß. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, EOS Nation. It's Friday. It's hot sauce time. My name is Martin. I bring you the hot and spicy takes and news and whatever from the EOS network from last week. Welcome in the chat, everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm having Jana in the background helping me out with the stream, and I'm excited to be back here live on the Hot Sauce Live. Um, yeah, Steph is taking a short break. He might come back next week, or maybe we have somebody new. Let's see. It's always interesting to tune in to the hot sauce and see who's bringing you the latest. What we have today is, as you can see on the screen, the Blue Papers feedback. Then we have Nova Crypto and the EOSBs coming together to do an EOS Rants challenge. The EOSBs brought EOS memes to Instagram. Upland supports the Ukraine. Ƒractally Whitepaper is now available in Korean and Chinese. We have an update from Liquid Universe. And yeah, Pomelo NFT season 2 and season 2 in general, Pomelo coming up. So how are we doing? Let's see who's in the chat. Give you some time. Hey, cool. Hey, Daniel. All right. Let's jump into the blue paper. So the blue papers, the EOS Network Foundation, one of the first initiatives that they did was asking the experts in our community about like how can we improve the EOS network. And there were several blue papers in production, and there are more coming. The first ones that are out already and ready for review is API Plus and Core Plus and Audit Plus, and there are a couple of others still coming out. But however, in this process, I think the community feedback is pretty important because there are multiple avenues laid out, different things that the experts deem to be opportunities, how we can improve, but which ones getting a priority, and if these are the ultimate solutions or if there might be more. Is still like, you know, maybe somebody in the community has a better idea. So there's this like review phase of the community, similar like a peer review in academic terms. So there are actually prizes you can win from 100 up to 2,000 EOS for a valuable contribution, and there are 4 categories. So funding proposal feedback, how it's get funding. How a proposed solution gets funding, an alternative solution, like if you think something is not so great and you know how to do it better, enhanced solution, so basically there's a solution but you know how to make it even better, or in a completely additional section or solution that nobody ever mentioned in these blue papers. So the deadlines for Audit Plus and Core Plus are already kind of pretty close. You still have a little bit of time. And API Plus will be March 19th, as you can see here. Wallet Plus still coming up. And there's a little bit of quite some criteria to bring this in. Eve clarified this a little bit in the last fireside chat. So there needs to be a similar amount of research and effort going into your submission as went into the blue papers. So basically, yeah, write a detailed medium or a general blog post, 500 words to 3,000 words. And yeah, I won't go through all the criteria right now, but I think in order to cooperate and come work on these things together, you need to show that you're putting some thought and effort in this, just upfront. If you want to submit, there's a Google form ready to go. That's also linked in the article. As you can see right here, the different blue papers are already there. What kind of type is it, as I just mentioned, and your WeChat, Telegram handle, EOS account name, and additional comments. So yeah, and throughout this whole week, or this is running since a week, I think, there were already several groups submitting their proposals, and I want to give them a shout out because they're putting some effort in. Actually, Eden Capital, they announced 3 feedbacks because different solutions you should make a single post so you don't overwhelm the readers, and it's easy to see like which one is taken, which one is not. So the first feedback comes from Eden Capital, and it's about basically a longer term staking, which then has an impact on how much voting weight you're having. So they did a little bit of an analysis how much actual EOS tokens are used for voting, and they saw that there's a slight decrease. We see less and less tokens are voting. So the idea is that when you stake your EOS for longer, therefore your voting weight, your impact is a little bit more. Is increased, and they actually came up with a couple of models here. That obviously they're up for discussions, but it's good that they modeled this out. So 3 months, 25% voting weight, as you can see, and it goes up to 4 years to 400%. So this is reminds me a little bit of the staking pool discussion that we had like a little bit earlier when Block One asked for the community to do a little bit of suggestions. I think that was led by the team of EOS New York by then. Anyway, it's an updated suggestion, which I think quite a few people were liking these ideas. And here we see a detailed example. And the idea is also that those EOS that are in the hands of individual token holders get more impact as, or as like the tokens that are on centralized exchanges, which need to be more liquid. So I think that's kind of the target there as well with this proposal. So individual community members get more, or committed community members that are long-term vesting their tokens or staking their tokens, get because of their commitment, get just more impact on like how the voting goes. So yeah, that's an open discussion. There are a couple of attached descriptions. It's a pretty well-written article. You will see the article in the show notes later. So going to the second proposal, which is also it's related to the BP Pay, and the idea here is that the BP Pay is in EOS, but the EOS price is volatile. But the cost for block production is basically the BPs need to pay for their resource, need to pay for their infrastructure, servers, etc., etc. So they need to pay these bills usually in fiat. So in this proposal, the idea is that the BP Pay is more matched to correlates to the price of EOS. So basically, when EOS price is higher, then the BP Pay in EOS gets a little bit lower, so it matched with a dollar value. So basically, coming up with for the BPs to cover their costs for block production, and so more it's less basically drain coming from the inflation. There are again like some models which are quite thorough and modeled. There's also the idea to adjust inflation. So basically, when the price of EOS goes higher, the inflation that's going to BP Pay is currently it's fixed at 1%. But if the price of EOS would go higher after this model, the inflation going to BP Pay would go lower than 1%. Yeah, as we can see here in these models. So yeah, the goal of this proposal is give a more reasonable reward to EOS BPs and reduce the inflation rate. And the second goal, as they said in the article, is make the limited critical resources of the public chain be used in a more efficient way. So basically, if you if you pay less to the BPs, then maybe the inflation can go to other things. And that's something, I mean, in the beginning of the EOS network, we had like a lot of the BPs were supposed to do everything, right? They were communities, they were building tools, they were doing like all kinds of things. The idea right now is like, okay, we have other funding mechanisms, we have other things like Pomelo, we have Eden, Helios, and they're or Ƒractally, they're all going through to get part of the inflation. So the BPs only need to do block production. That's basically the underlying theory that is in this proposal, or attached to this proposal. Sorry, guys. So another feedback, blue paper feedback. I'm not 100% sure which exact blue paper this was targeted at, but I think it's an interesting idea to bring the onboarding mechanisms that that are currently there with the EOSBs or with EOS support, that they are getting in a referral system. So this was suggested by Jessie, the queen bee of the beehive, and Eden chief delegate. Let me check the notes here quickly. Yeah, so basically, his idea was like that the referral system that's on top of the onboarding funnel elevates the people that help out, like the influencers as the EOSBs that are basically reaching out to people, promoting EOS, like cleaning up misconceptions about EOS. And once they bring somebody in, like a new community member, it turns into a lead, like Jesse calls them leads, and then hands them over to the people from EOS support. EOS support obviously have their processes to onboarding people, answer questions, help them install wallets in a secure way, and therefore give them an incentive structure which is the referral rewards pool, as you can see here, which triggers the referral rewards pool. One interesting aspect here is that he wants to also leverage certain functionalities that we're having. For example, Port, which was funded in Pomelo, and the EOS support people to authenticate unique users. Because like if you have such a referral system, like, you know, you don't want to have people multi-accounting. So in order to protect this whole referral system from Sybil attacks, we can leverage things like Port, where you can verify basically your EOS account can be authorized or attached to a unique passport, or you get on a video call where EOS support worker authenticates you that you're like a unique individual. So yeah, that's another proposal that came from the initiative that the ENF asked the community to give feedback. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Let's see if this makes the way into a blue paper, or if, you know, there are other ways to implement this. Yeah, there are a couple of more details about this. And since we're on the topic of the EOSBs, they have been doing a bunch of other things. For example, on a fun way, they brought EOS memes to Instagram. So the handle is EOS.memes with a Z in the ending, as you can read here. And yeah, basically it's about like promoting EOS as the bees do, and then give them a presence on Instagram. So I think they're just going through all the channels and collecting all the memes. So if you do some memes, they might just feature you and put you here on the Instagram channel. If you use Instagram, give it a follow, give it some likes, and you know, have fun. Yeah, I drink a cup. How are you guys doing out there? And going back to the next topic. So as you can see right here, or if you might have recognized, in the EOS community, there's a whole culture of rants as of recently. I think the first person who coined the term EOS rant was Eve, with his like short messages to the community of like giving them updates, or like to a certain point that's discussed in the community, he can just in one video give his perspective on a certain topic. So this was picked up by a bunch of other people, and Nova Crypto from mindweb.io, basically turned this whole thing into like basically all the rants right here, what kind of topics, and sometimes like was there an answer or a reaction to a certain rant. And the idea here is to build this really out. So we people that are new or just want to catch up, they can see all the different perspectives, all the different rants, all the different topics that are being discussed. And in order to populate this mind map even more, they came up with a EOS Rants Twitter competition. So the idea here is that you come up with a topic that you want to talk about, you create a video, you post it on Twitter, you become part of the mindweb, the RAN mind map, and based on how many interaction, like how many likes and how many retweets, a like is 1 point and a retweet is 1.5 points, you can become the winner of a week, every week, Monday to Sunday. This is how this challenge goes. And the price for this originally was 25 EOS if you are the winner. But Eve came up and said he's going to match the price. So every week you can win 50 EOS if you get the most likes and retweets. And every week there's like one random winner chosen. Yeah, and speaking about rants, the most recent rant of Eve was about Enf Ventures. It's pretty interesting concept, where he wants to attract outside capital into the ecosystem and then offset the cost that the ENF has through these mechanisms. So there's less inflation being used in order to fund the operations of the ENF. I'm not giving it justice. These rants are pretty short and super interesting. So if you're interested in this, give it a listen, give it a watch, give it also a thumbs up. Yeah, talking about thumbs up, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and I'm gonna check if somebody in the chat right now, pretty packed chat. I will shout someone, hey, dance party, how are you doing? Stefan in the house. Ian Wood, how are you doing? Hello. Andres Palma in the house. Zahar Norman, hello. Sang Aha. So yeah, thanks everyone for joining in. We have a tweet competition for the Party Crackers going on, and you need to comment your EOS name, your EOS account name, under this tweet that came just out a couple almost an hour ago. That's the latest tweet on EOS Nation's Twitter. And in order to get a Party Cracker, you comment your EOS name under it. Yeah, that's for that. Next topic is about Upland, and they are actually doing a pretty nice initiative to support people in the Ukraine, which are currently suffering tremendously under the Russian invasion. And it actually is the story of Upland goes really back to the first team when they had the idea of doing this metaverse, which is based on EOS. They were talking to people from a city called, I hope I give it justice, Mykolaiv. And the first developers and engineers helping to realize the Upland vision came from this city. So they have like a direct connection to the city, to the administration there, and therefore developed like a path where donations can go directly to this city, which some of the developers working for Upland are still calling their home. So therefore there's a direct impact, and it's not going through a couple of other initiatives, which I pretty much like. They do also have for the people in Ukraine a Stand with Ukraine Discord channel. The Upland team wants to make sure that that everybody knows that so far everybody that's working there is safe. They do some really nice sales. So you can buy this block explorer in the shop. You can buy a flag, different flags to put on your houses, on your properties in Upland, and there are a couple of auctions for special properties that are for sale, and the profits from this are going all to the city of Mykolaiv. Yeah, so sums up. Great job, Upland. As always, I really like the graphics, and I like the initiative. This is a personal, more or less personal note from the founders. Pretty cool. Sums up. Moving on. Speaking about, that's what I heard actually. Like one of it's related to Ukraine. So the princess bee of the Chinese hive is actually based in Ukraine, and therefore, like, it's pretty amazing that this person still made it possible to translate the Ƒractally white paper under these circumstances into the Chinese language. So the news here is that he's super awesome, and also that the Ƒractally white paper is now available in Chinese, as we can see, and as well available in Korean. So right now, I know there was some concerns how Ƒractally was introduced, and I'm super happy that the Chinese and the Korean community stepped forward to translate both of these white papers. So, you know, the concepts that are going around what Ƒractally is and what is the mission here, and the concept is now being discussed by the whole international EOS community. Yeah, and which brings us to the pitch session, because one thing to digest and read the whole white paper. The other one is like to basically distill the core essence of it, and like quickly in a elevator pitch, explain to someone who has absolutely no clue what EOS is, what Ƒractally is, maybe not even what a DAO is or a fractal. So in the last epic 7-hour EOS fireside chat, it was previous week actually, Ƒractally was discussed in a lot, and Eve was asking the community, okay, tell me when there's an investor, what should I tell him? Give me an elevator pitch, and that was kind of a challenge. In the last EOS community chat, we had some people coming forward and actually pitching. So you can see all these pitches or listen to all these pitches in the recording of the EOS fireside chat. If you want to join live every Wednesday at 20 UTC, they are in the EOS community Discord, but they are recorded. You can see them on the Everything EOS YouTube channel, and they're really interesting conversations. Also, in one of the chief delegates call, Dan Larimer, BM, came to the chief delegates call and also pitched basically his idea, or not pitched this idea, he gave his idea about Ƒractally and opened up for the discussions there. And shout out to Chuck McDonald's. I know these meetings, there are a lot of meetings happening currently, and they're all recorded, which I like, and I really enjoy watching them. But the clip production also ramped up, and we have Dave producing a bunch of clips from the fireside chats, but from the chief delegates meeting, which are happening every week. Chuck McDonald's also makes some really nice clips. We haven't featured them here yet, so definitely something that you can watch. It's on the Eden on EOS channel. And this one here is Dan proposing his idea Ƒractally, and he says, like, EOS as a company, workers unite, and I like that. Moving forward, we have a new, that's something EOS Nation announcement, that's our news, but I want to shout out our new community lead for the Korean community. Her name is Qian, and she just set up a new Naver account for EOS Nation. So with ramping up the promotion for Pomelo season 2 coming up, we maximize our reach and also post all the content in Korean again on Naver. So shout out to Qian. She's new to crypto, but in the last week we had a lot of conversation, and she's super happy. yeah, shout out to our new Korean member. Yeah, and another topic that I wanted to discuss quickly is Liquiid Universe, Corvin Meyer auf der Heide. He did an interesting interview with Any Observation, and usually that's all content regarding wax. But Liquiid Universe is a game which leverages EOSIO, and a few things. First of all, Corvin is like in the community since super long. He was a mentor at the first EOSIO hackathons. He's a moderator of the EOSIO Stack Exchange, and he's been working on this for a while. And I mean, like, that's why I want to highlight this interview, because he goes into a couple of things that he found solutions from. Blockchain games are still like a little bit slow, but to satisfy like the normal traditional gamers, like transactions need to be fast. So he leveraged all this EOSIO in his game. So the transactions in the game, they execute pretty fast. It's milliseconds. On the other hand, like all the, like, for example, we talk about the universe and their planets, and there's a whole economy about like finding resources, mining, having ships and all these kind of things. The generation of like how you generate these worlds, all these things are happening with smart contracts. So all this stuff is very decentralized, yet it's like lightning fast speed. Which is pretty cool. So it's a compromise for blockchain people that want everything to be decentralized, and traditional gamers that just want to have a fast gameplay. So definitely shout out to Corvin, and I'm super excited for Liquiid Universe to come out. And also, a couple of these 3D assets that you will find in this game, they're actually made by our very own Jana Schiffer in the background right now, which shout out and applauding Jana. And one thing that leads this to is the Pomelo NFT series season 2, which comes out, which is already out, but the final Diamond Pomelo is not yet revealed. Currently, everybody is, currently, everybody is still mining their fragments, mining their potions. We released an article last week already going through all the details. You already have the Kimberlites and the Pomelo and the collectibles. Now we're at the potion stage, and the potion, they release all these like diamond fragments. And we explained it all here in this article, which you will find in the show notes. But we also were invited to the EOS Writer podcast. Shout out to Jimmy D, where we had the whole team. So I was there, Jana was there, Shramana was there. Pretty cool. We had a nice conversation going through all the things that are nice about Pomelo season 2. And here you can see the blends. And here you see your potions. Anytime you can claim. This will go for a while, and the final result will be like super sweet, super crisp diamond pomelos for you to admire. Yeah, if you are not excited about Pomelo 2, season 2 yet, before we went live on EOS Writer podcast, Daniel Keys actually gave like a rundown about season 2, what's coming, Pomelo, and there was also a great interview that we will post here in the description later on. And that basically sums it up. Another thing, shout out to Dave doing these fireside chats. Here's a shorter update about Pomelo Grant season 2 coming up from the last, from I think the previous fireside chat. So yeah, that sums it up for this week. I'm going to check out once again the chat. Cool. Thanks, everyone. Go EOS. Let's keep it spicy. See you next week. Bye-bye.